special meeting of the advisory panel. I'll call the meeting to order. I've done roll call enough to account for folks who are on the call. We just got a couple of agenda items for today. One, asked the Greenbush team to present the results from, they collected feedback at the town hall meeting last Tuesday night in person, and I shared the results of that, but then they reopened that survey through the end of the week to gather more comments. So I wanted them to report that out in the public part of the meeting. And then if we wanted to continue our discussion based on that information and other information we've collected from doing site tours between the state team and the county team, I would suggest that we'd go into executive session to gather that information and then continue a discussion about recommendation on real property. Those are our two main items. And then our meeting date in January, we talked a little bit last time about moving that time up so our legislative members could have time to get to their session. So we'll do the save the date for that shortly, but we'll back the meeting time up by about 30 minutes to 12:30, and so we can get them out as well. Think about that as the agenda items, and I'll turn it over first to the Greenbush team, Dawn and Bonnie. If you could tell us what we found in the survey results. There's no materials. They're just going to do a verbal report of what they found. They're working on the tabulation and finalizing the report, which I'll get sent out, but I just wanted them to give you an idea of what the public said after that survey was open. So Bonnie and Dawn, I'll turn it over to the two of you.
Okay, thank you. I welcome the opportunity to present this information to you. As you know, there was a town hall meeting held on December 12th from 5 to 7. There was approximately 75 individuals in person and 25 additional online. Information was presented by Scott and Tanya, followed by a moderated question and answer session. And then final attendees were asked to complete a best fit survey prior to leaving. The survey showed there were 32 for the MacArthur and Meriden best fit location, 20 for the West Central Avenue location, 13 for the North 85 and I-135 location, and 8 for the 53rd and Greenwich. There's more detailed analysis of this survey available, but it is more of a high level, gives you a little more detail. Following the town hall event, there was an extended survey posted on social media to gather a bit more information from the general public. The survey was a bit different in that it cannot be assumed the responders knew all of the information provided in the town hall setting. The survey was accessed through all social media partners. There were 245 additional respondents with the same general reasons stated for best fit was very similar to the town hall respondents, but did include more responses that were themed in the desire to keep the hospital away from their immediate area. Are there any questions regarding that?
What was the breakdown of on social media, like the ones that got put out and that weren't part of the town hall?
Breakdown as far as
how many were voted for what location? Like you gave us the breakdown for it at the town hall, but what was it? Or did I get that wrong? Was that?
The breakdown was the survey, the 32 for MacArthur and Meridian, that was during the town hall.
Right.
I think we're still working on the 245 respondents through the social media extended survey.
Do you know when we'll be able to find out how many went to what location?
If you want, I can probably pull up an uncleaned version real quickly for you.
That would be great. Thank you.
Bonnie, do you want me to do that real fast?
Sure, that would be great.
Give me just a second.
Maybe while Don's doing that, let me just check. I think we want to be able to report out some information in the executive session, and we'll have a motion to move into executive session if the panel thinks that's appropriate. But can I just get a general sense, if you just kind of wave that you're interested in having an executive session once we complete that report from Greenbush? I see a few hands, so okay. So we'll proceed with that once we get that report done.
And Scott, are you comfortable with me showing those numbers now?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay,
Knowing this is kind of, there's still some work to do to clean up the data, but first blush, here's what we got.
yes, so just of the responses, here was the breakdown, 46.2% or 109, 2622 West Central Avenue, and then MacArthur and Meridian, 28.8%, 53rd and Greenwich, 18.6%, and 85th and I-135, 28%.
Interesting.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So as opposed to the survey results from that night, the 85th and I-135 tied kind of with the other with the Riverside Hospital site. We did collect in that survey also zip code, so we could kind of see where those responses came from. We didn't do that at the town hall, so that might be an interesting slice of the data to get as well. But that gives you some idea of the high level report out. Any other questions about that the Greenbush folks could answer?
We should probably mention that not everyone at the town hall completed the survey before they left. So a slightly smaller pool than we had attendees for.
Okay, if there aren't any other questions, we'll move into executive session for probably about 30 minutes of discussion. That would get, if we do that shortly, we could get back in before the scheduled meeting time is over at 1:45. Does everybody have, at least the panel members have the second Zoom link for the executive session?
Scott, would that have been a separate email or is it in this same
It
one?
is a separate, it was a separate email. I can send it.
They came right after, it came right after the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got them both.
It's the meeting ID 89627843589. That's the executive session link. Okay,
Okay,
so
we get out of this one and go to that other one.
so you'll end when we, after the motions pass, you will end participation in this one and click into the other, and we'll have the executive session there, and then we'll reverse to come back into open session. This one, will probably, if you try to start the other one, this one will pause or go on hold, but ending is probably the safer thing to do. So I asked Commissioner Lopez if she would make the motion again, so I'll recognize her for her motion.
Okay, I move that the open meeting of the South Central Regional Psychiatric Hospital Advisory Panel, hereinafter referred to as the advisory panel, be recessed for a closed executive meeting pursuant to KSA 754319 for follow-up discussion of the acquisition of real property for the location of the proposed regional psychiatric hospital pursuant to justification listed in KSA 754319, that the advisory panel resume the open meeting at 1:45 on this Zoom, and that this motion, if adopted, be recorded in the minutes and be maintained as part of the permanent records of the advisory panel. The advisory panel will meet via Zoom for executive session. Tanya Cole, Assistant County Manager for Sedgwick County, and Andrew Dilt, Sedgwick County Facilities Managers, are invited to attend the executive session to provide information relevant to the discussion of real property. And so I will move.
Second by Representative Carpenter.
Carpenter seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any objections, say no. Hearing none, we'll migrate over to the other Zoom. Tanya and Andrew, do you have the link as well? Tanya does. I just resent it to Andrew. Okay, so we'll migrate over there and we'll be back in general session at 1:45. Well, thanks for the conversation about the properties. Just from the agenda, again, our next meeting is of the full panel in public is January the 8th. Instead of starting at 1, we're going to start at 12:30. but try to keep the meeting just to an hour so our legislative members can get on to their first day of the session activities. Our main agenda item there will be to finalize the report, the interim report to the legislature and the governor's office. So again, if you have recommendations or thoughts about recommendations, bring those to the meetings, or if you want to talk about it before, feel free just to reach out to me. Happy to work on those in advance. Any other discussion items for today from the panel members? Not seeing anything. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Joan is made a
Second.
motion. Commissioner
Second.
Lopez seconded. Any objection to
Yeah.
adjourning? Hearing none. Everybody have a great Christmas season and enjoying time with your family and loved ones. And it's an exciting time. We'll keep you updated as we move forward over the course of this week.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.